How you doing, world? My name is Edwin Rose. Most of you guys know me, but I would like to give you a little background about myself. Born and raised in Louisiana, moved out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I currently live, and skipped past all the sports and everything. And this is the political page. So on Edwin Rose, bringing the truth to politics, which I haven't changed the name, and the name is going to stay the same because still can inspire someone to do the right thing in politics. It's not going to be me. I'm too conscious of self. I'm too conscious of our people. I'm too conscious of right and wrong to be a politician. Politics is about creating debt and keeping the poor poor and the rich richer. My ultimate goal, if I was to continue being a politician, the thought process is, why can't everyone be rich? Why can't everyone be wealthy? Why can't we all be in some type of shape, way, form, all make decent money? And I think it's feasible, but that's not the structure of our government right now. So that's why I have basically taken my hat out of the politician run. But working as a glazer, one of my mentors, Ray Vale, always encouraged me to do it. Yes, he is a white man. I think one of the most influential men in my life. Like I said, he was a true mentor. He was a guy that I could call and get advice, and he always gave it to me right. He always gave it to me, you know. I don't know how to explain it, because some people in your life you look at as that father figure, and he was definitely that father figure. That's why you would never hear me say, F white people, or I hate all white people. I am not a racist. I may have my prejudices. I may not like certain things. I may not like certain people. I definitely don't like ignorant people. So I do have my prejudice, but I'm not, and never will say I hate all people, certain race or group. So that's where I was inspired to get into politics, was through Mr. Ray Vale. He helped me tremendously with the local glazing union here, becoming my mentor as a safety director, as just a regular basic employee. From day one, was kind and nice and fair to me. So got nothing but love and respect for that man. Another thing about me is I grew up in a small town that, you couldn't drink from this water fountain. You couldn't go to the swimming pool. You couldn't eat at this diner. I'm 42 years old. So I think I can speak on racism. I think I can speak on things that a lot of people don't see, haven't seen, don't understand. My fiance, 39 years old, never experienced those things. So she has a different view than I have about racism. She has a different view that I have about certain things, and we'll just leave it at that. But I also wanted to give homage to people that has helped develop me. I don't just want to sit here and say and take credit for my thought process. I'm getting a lot of likes. I'm getting a lot of comments on my page, even though I'm not getting the help that I want on my page. I'm getting a lot of likes. I'm getting a lot of, hey, I like your page. I like this. I want, you should do this and you should do that. That's not going to help it. What's going to help it is actually being out there, actually going out there and helping your community and doing something positive in your community. And most people don't do that. But I would like to give you guys a more in-depth background about me, and yes, some teachings. And I'm not going to get in depth thought about, what attracted me to these guys, what I got from it. I'll just do a brief thing, so we'll try to make this as fast as possible. Martin Luther King Jr., of course. And what I got from him is standing up for what you believe in, standing up for what's right and what's wrong, period. Don't necessarily agree with everything, but that is what I got from him. Louis Farrakhan. What I got from Louis Farrakhan is educating yourself. Don't just believe what people tell you. I can't believe, a lot of people hear this name and they'll be like, oh, he's a Muslim. No, I'm not a Muslim. But I definitely agree with some of the teachings that he speak on, and educating yourself, because you can't be a sheep. You can't be. You just can't go through life following people. You hear something and you're like, oh, that makes sense. But you don't know what's behind that. So educate yourself. When somebody says something, look it up. Creflo Dollar. Hey, it's my spiritual mentor. That's my spiritual guider, or however you want to say that word. He guides me spiritually. I don't know the man personally, no. But the most beautiful thing about the era that we live in is the World Wide Web. I can see every sermon. I could Google topics, and he definitely speaks on a lot of topics. So that's my spiritual mentor. Now these last two gentlemen, are definitely, I put them in that category, right below Mr. Ray Vail. Is Mr. Bill Cosby. Great book, great thinker, great mind. And if you guys don't believe me, read. You don't have to believe me. Read. Please read. The man has tried to warn you guys several times about the way of the world, and we still don't get it. We look at Mr. Bill Cosby as, the funny dad and Mr. Huxtable, and we don't see him as a great thinker. He's a deep thinker, Check it out. And the last gentleman, Claude Anderson. Great mind, and a functional mind at that, because he lived through those days where you couldn't walk. He's about 20 years my senior, so he was a teenager during those days where you couldn't go to that certain side of town, you couldn't ride over here, you couldn't sit over here. So, and he has developed, he has blossomed and grown. I think more so of a teacher, he's still a student of life. So if you listen to this man, definitely get what he's trying to tell you guys, and it's the structure of everything else that is around us. He talks about the power structure. He talks about circulating our money. Hopefully my organization, if it ever takes off, is based around his philosophy. I've added more steps, but it's definitely based around his philosophy. As a young man that he's definitely teaching to, there's some things that I have to deal with. There's some things that, as young men, well, I'm not very young, I'm 40, but even for my age group, the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, there's going to be things in there implemented in my program that's directly towards those age groups. Education is a big part of it. One of the things that he talks about is education, like third or fourth on his list. Actually, I have it right here. It's fifth on his list is schools. I write everything down, so, I'm one of those guys that when you say something, I write it down. That way I can go back to it. I got notebooks like this all over the house. So once again, I'm a student of everything, and I'm not saying that I know everything, but I've kind of seen things and I've kind of absorbed things to where the point that I can actually say intelligently, this is what we should do, or this is what I think would be best. But he has schools and education is fifth. I'm sorry, I disagree with that, but not in a bad way. I think if you put businesses and industries first, and you put education fifth, how am I educated enough to know about businesses? So first thing should be first is education. You get educated to know what business you want. You get educated to know what industries to get into. You just don't wake up one morning and say, I think we should get a shrimp boat industry, and you live in Arizona. That's kind of a bad industry to get into. So you have to be educated enough to say, hey, I live in such and such location. There is a very high demand for this product. So therefore, I need to set up this industry. So to me, education is first. And also, education brings us together. Education is a tool that once a week, once a day, I get these young men, I get these people, and we're gathering for the same goal. And it's a big tool. It's the foundation to keeping everything cemented and concrete. If you build that foundation with sand, it'll blow away. The education part of it is concrete because it can never be taken away from you. And if you educate enough people, the strength is in numbers. One of those guys, everything doesn't happen overnight. One of those guys might go to the NBA and become a millionaire that can help you come back and do that industry. It's not going to develop fast. That's why I always talk about a 10-year plan, not a 5-year plan. I talk about a 10-year plan because you got to convince everybody to be on the same page. So therefore, you got to educate people. You just can't say, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that, and people be like, yeah, no. Especially not with black people. You have to sell your ideas to people. And it's not so much a converting and convincing. All I want you to do in anything, in your relationships, anything, is listen to the other person's point of view. You don't have to agree with it, but if it makes more sense, go with it. Does that make sense to you? Even if you have an argument and you're talking about somebody and that person is saying, okay, this is what I feel and this is what happened, but this is how you took it. You just don't be in one corner of your mind frame and just be like, I don't hear what you're saying. No, listen, shut up, listen, and just think to yourself, does it make sense? Put yourself in those people's shoes and then talk, then articulate what you're feeling, and then you can resolve things. You can never resolve things by just pushing your point. Your point isn't always the best point. I had to learn that the hard way. My views aren't always the best views out there, but I have some great views. So those are the things, or those are the people that influenced me. Sorry it took a little long on Mr. Claude, but Mr. Claude definitely touched me. I mean, I Google him. He's on YouTube. His speeches are on there. Very powerful dude. Very powerful dude. So I wanted to give you guys a little background about me, my mindset, and where I'm going with the political thing. But it's not a political thing anymore. I don't know what to call it yet. I'm down for equal rights for everybody. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everybody. So if you can have yours, I would like to have mine. Simple as that. If you can have a restaurant or a part of town or a business or an educational program, guess what? I would like to have my educational program. I would like to be able to have my business. I would like to be able to have my community. I would like to be able to have my side of town. And I want everybody out there, you don't have to agree with it, but look around. The Asians have their side of town. We have a little Chinatown out here on Spring Mountain. Hispanics are pushing out blacks in their old communities. The West Side is mostly Hispanic now. Northtown is mostly Hispanic now. Look at the businesses that's going up around town. There's businesses that you've never heard of. There's not too many corporate Hispanic businesses, but there's a lot of convenience stores. There are a lot of mom and pop stores. There are a lot of stores out there that they're getting money to do that we don't have access to or we don't know. So education always has to be first because you have to educate yourself to be able to tap into those resources. So my thing is equality for everybody. And if you really look at it, and I'm not going to touch on this real long, you know, it's a very deep word, and it's segregation. Not saying that we're segregated and you can't eat here, not segregated and you can't live here, not segregated and you can't, you know, buy here, but segregated to where we have our own. And I think during the civil rights movement, we lost that. We wanted, the grass was greener over there, and we wanted to go over there instead of fixing ours. Instead of saying, hey, fund money, put money into our school, put money into our programs, put money to our businesses. You know, just like we see around town, every other year you'll see you'll see a little business plaza getting renovated. That's all about a city. The city does that for them. So hey, do that for our community. Do that for our neighborhood. Why do our homes look like shacks? Why does our community built with bricks and yours is built with wood and drywall and mortars and nice building supplies, and ours is bricks? Still going on right now today. Drive down the west side, look at the new communities being built. Bricks. You know, not bricks like a brick home down south, but bricks as those big cinder block bricks that they stack up. Bricks. That's what you want us to live in. No, it has to be equal. And that's all I want. So don't think of segregation as, I don't want you over here. Think of segregation as, I want the same things that you have in my community. That's it. So today, after that, you know, hopefully you guys stuck with me. I really wanted to talk about Mr. Donald Sterling. I'm going to shock some people right now. I'm going to shake up the world, as Mr. Muhammad Ali would say. First thing I want to get out there is, how would you guys feel if someone recorded your personal, your deepest feelings about another race? How would you feel about that? Unknowingly to you, that this person is setting you up, because now this person has over 100 hours of recordings of you talking about God knows what. But obviously you've been talking about blacks. Obviously you was talking about how you felt about being seen in public. That's that man's innermost feelings about how he wants his woman to be perceived. Now, I'm going to say this. He has the right to do so. He has the right to say that. Is it the right thing to say? No. No. But he thought he had a private moment. This is where everything is going to crash and burn. That was a private moment. That was a moment with his, at the time, mistress. That he was like, hey, I don't want you doing that in public. I don't care if you take him home and bone him. I don't want you seen in public, and don't bring him to my games. Put yourself in his shoes. Now this is coming from a man. I am not cheating. When I was 22, 23 years old, you ran the streets and you did what you did. And when you had a boo and you had a side chick, you tell that side chick who you don't want her to be around. I don't want you going out with your girls. I want you to be accessible to me at all times, 24/7. I don't want you to go out there and bring some other man to my house. You don't bring no other man to my house. You don't take pictures of another man at my house. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm letting you guys know this is going to be a big downfall for the content of what was said. Okay, so understand that we all have private moments that, hell, we wouldn't want the world to know. I have said some effed up stuff that I would be ashamed that the world knew that I said those things. Like I said, you guys can look at it. It's documented on my Facebook page. You can almost say I was a black radical, moved up into, I'm here for everybody. I'm open to everybody. I'm open to help everybody. Do I still want things for blacks? Yes. Like I said, I want equality. I want to be able to drive to an area of town or a strip mall and just go to that strip mall. Go to the barbershop and go get some clothes, go get some necessities, whatever, insurance, whatever, in that community. You can't do that out here because we're so scattered and we don't have a community like that. So at one time, I have said some derogatory things about other races, and I would be horrified right now because once again, we don't understand and we don't separate racism versus prejudice. Now, blacks can never be racist. Get it right. You guys gotta read. You guys gotta start reading. This is why this is why I put education first. You guys have to read. Blacks will never be racist. You know, the definition of the word never happened. Look it up. This is why I have this. This is why I do these things. Because if you say something to me, I'm not gonna be like, yeah. No, I'm gonna look it up. You have smartphones. We should, not getting off this topic, but this is one of the things that bothers me when I was doing my political thing. We have the World Wide Web. We have more technology than any other time in the history of mankind. And we are graduating 40% of our kids here in Nevada. It's a shame. That's a shame. When we had to go to the library to get a book and you can just Google it on your phone? Come on, really? They have websites that show you how to break down fractions and you're failing math? Really? That's another reason why education is first. You guys have resources. You guys have access to everything and you're failing. Go beat your kids tonight. Tell them to get in them books. But anyway, that's just a thought that popped up, and this is why I wanted to express this on video, because I knew it was going to take too long to try to write all this stuff down and really articulate what I wanted to say and not be misconstrued with anything. But how do you deal with Mr. Sterling? Same way we dealt with these people. And if you can see it right there. I love these shoes. You're not going to find another pair like this. You see that? My name is Edwin Rose. Couldn't get Edwin across, so we put Ed on there. This is a racist man. This is a racist company. But if I gotta wear some boots, I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? These are my boots right here. I love them. I love the product. Love the product. But is that man a racist? Yeah, he's a racist. He's definitely has his prejudice against blacks. His boots weren't made to be in hip hop videos. His boots weren't made to be worn by gangsters. Yeah, it is what it is. So how do we deal with Mr. Sterling? It has to start from the top of his organization down. You can't take bits and pieces and say these people should do this, these people should do this, the owner should do this, the player should do this, and the fans should do this. No, they all need to do it at the same time. They all need to get together and walk away. If you really want to impact this man, if you really want to hurt this man and say that you're not going to stand for this, he's part of a fraternity. Usually, if you're part of a fraternity, the fraternity is basically a shadow of, or you are basically a shadow of the fraternity. So you're not going to get the owners to come out and speak bad about this man. You're not. It's not going to happen. If they do it, they're going to give him a whole bunch of money. And if they do it, he's going to sue them. You can't do it. They're going to be quiet about this. Doc Rivers, I think, made a very bad decision to play. I wouldn't have played. The fans made a very bad decision to show support. I wouldn't have went. I would sell my tickets. I would burn my tickets. I would give my tickets away. So you have to hurt this man in every aspect of his organization. The powers that be need to do it, which they're not. His CEOs, his general managers, his people that are up top notch that are minorities, they need to walk away, which they're not. The players need to not play, which you know they're going to play. And the fans need to not support him. But like I said, every aspect needs to be hit. Everybody can talk, everybody can fuss, but he has a better case than anybody else against what's going on. Because once again, we're talking about private moments. We're talking about my innermost feelings that wasn't meant to be public. Okay? I can put myself out there and say, yeah, at one point I may have said some derogatory things about white people, but I'm not a billionaire. You know, so nobody's going to sit here and criticize Edwin Rose, because Edwin Rose is just a regular guy trying to help his people and help people like his people to elevate themselves. You know, I'm like an elevator. I want all people to be here, not poor people, not middle class. I would like everybody to be wealthy. I would like to see a 2-home income in every family. Moms is making good money. Pops is making good money. Pops is making enough money that if moms wanted to stay home or if pops wanted to stay home, they can do that. So look at me as a person that's trying to elevate all, but also trying to bring together blacks. You know, because you can't do it by yourself. There is a formula out there. We just don't have access to that formula. So that's why, once again, you have to be educated enough to know what's going on. You have to be educated enough to, you have to be smarter than smart to deconstruct what has already been constructed. Okay? And that's going back from slavery. That's going back to the 20s. That's going back to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And every area that you see change in blacks, we have to go and redo it. Civil rights movement. We have to go back and reconstruct that, because that devastated the black community. That annihilated the black community. And what does everybody talk about? Oh, I wish we had a community, wish we had our own. We did. We did. Look it up. Chicago, we had the number 2 and number 1 cab companies were owned by black men, and I'm trying to get it right. And the bus company. Matter of fact, the bus company was here in Las Vegas too. They had the depot here in Vegas. Number 1 minority-owned black company, making millions and millions of dollars since the 20s. But now you want to ride Greyhound because you don't want to sit on the black bus. I want to go sit over here and eat over here, instead of saying, hey, won't you take care of what we have? Won't you upgrade city, state? Won't you upgrade what we have, instead of saying, no, I want to eat over here? We got good restaurants too. Fix our restaurants up so, you know, when we go in there, they got a new kitchen. The kitchen doesn't look like it was made in the 1950s or 40s. Take care of ours. By us wanting to walk into the casinos and gamble, that's why the Moulin Rouge is no more. That's why every little city you go to, even my little town, my little small town, Gina, Louisiana, when I went back in 2010, all the black businesses was basically shut down. That killed us. It killed us. Look at your history, read it. It killed the black community because you wanted to go over there and live, instead of saying, you know what, fix our shit up. Take care of what we got. You know, take that $80 million, $800 million that you're doing for the roadways here in Nevada and fix up our community. Give $50 million for minority-based business, black-owned businesses. Start an organization where we can actually sit down with other entrepreneurs, with other educated people, and sit down and talk. All you black millionaires, all you black owners out there, all you black entrepreneurs out there, start an organization where you can mentor people. Because a lot of people don't want to go, a lot of people aren't going to go to college. A lot of people aren't going to go to trade schools. Fortunately, I was able to go to a trade school. Now, construction business is in a shithole right now, but you understand what I'm saying. There is avenues that you can take if you mentor those people. You can bring a person in that you might think was a thug, and now he's making millions of dollars for you. Not them, but you. So, how do we attack Mr. Sterling? That's how you do it. You hit him at all aspects of his business. You walk out of his apartment complex, your real estate, you walk out, and you be ready to be sued because he's going to try to sue you. He's a lawyer. You know, that's what he does. He's a very intelligent man. So you have to be intelligent to attack him. So be ready for a fight. It's not going to change anything. Just like it's not going to change anything. Should I stop wearing Timberlands? Yeah. Do I look like a hypocrite right now? Maybe. But when it's been downplayed and whitewashed for so long, what alternative do we have? What black-owned team do those guys have to go to and say, hey, I want to play for you? What black power that be that they can go to and say, hey, this is not right, this is unfair, this is unjust, I don't want to play for this man. You know, we don't have that. We don't have that alternative. We don't have people, we don't have the group of people to go to mentor us in what to do. We have a lot of whitewashed things that happen that are basically acceptable now. Is it going to be 100% right? No. As much as I want to help my people, I'm still giving money to people that I know are racist or just have prejudice against blacks. Because most of us say, what does that have to do with me? It ain't got nothing to do with me. It has a lot to do with us. Should I just take these and throw them in the trash right now? Or can we all do it at the same time and provide an alternate shoe for those people that like this brand of shoe? So can we offer a team that they can go play for that's black owned, black ran? No. So guess what? Ain't gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. The man is gonna get fined because we've been built, we've been conditioned. Oh, get over it. That happened 400 years ago. Read Mr. Lynch's book on how to train your slaves. He said if this was implemented for 1 year, you can control slaves for hundreds of years. Don't just listen to me and to be like, oh yeah, you're right. No, read it. It's different when you pick up the book and read it for yourself. It's enlightening. It's mind-boggling. I read the Lynch Chronicles and a tear came down my eye. This man's words over 600 years ago. Wow. Remember, slavery was already started. He was just at another part, and he was showing the people, he was showing the owners how to control his slaves. So it's deep. It's very deep. So read it yourself. So the mind state of where we are and who we are is written in here throughout history. You know, I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not a person that runs around quoting the Bible all the time. But look at the children of Egypt. After they were freed, they basically complained that they had it better with Pharaoh. So just understand who we are as a people. That's why I have a 10-year plan. If this ever gets started, it'll take 10 years to convince the right people to get involved with this program. Circle of Friends. It's actually on there. It's the introduction of Circle of Friends is on my page. Edwin Rose, Bringing the Truth to Politics. But read it. Read what I'm trying to put down. It's going to take years to get people to actually come into that. 100 millionaires, 100 black millionaires donate $1 million to this cause. $100 million? What can't we do? What can't we do? Like I said, my ideas aren't always the greatest ideas, but if we have an organization with $100 million behind us, what can't we do? Casino, stadium, small businesses around the country, a franchise. Let's do a chicken franchise. We all love chicken. Let's put 4 or 5 in every in every city. That's another reason I'm not political, because I'm a little rough around the edges. You know, I'm not. I get passionate and those words come out. So excuse my language. I apologize, but you know, why can't we franchise something? Don't have to be KFC. Don't have to be the Colonel. It could be whoever. It could be whatever. We don't have to do any stereotypes. It could be a proud, profound black name. It could be a profound, proud black industry. That's where we start. And when we get those 100, like I said, my ideas aren't the best, but what do you think? We can do whatever we want. Clothing line. We can do whatever we want. $100 million, nobody can stop us. We can have our own. We can create millionaires. We can create wealthy people. That's what I want to do. That's my dream. You know, clothing for myself. You know, I'm not doing bad. You know, like I said, you know, I was a glazer for years. Safety director for the last 4 years of my career with the glazing union, and got into the politics. And we're here. And I want to better everybody, myself included. So I understand this is a very hard, touchy subject. You know, I hope I didn't piss everybody off about it. But, you know, we're fighting a battle that's been in place for years, and people are acting like they're shocked. You're not shocked. Go knock on the Walmart people's door. Go knock on Budweiser door. You're not going to get in. They're not going to be like, hey, come on in. You know, there's a lot of products out there that we consume every day that people probably never invited us into their house, or won't invite us into their house unless it's in a servant or a entertainment fashion. So let it marinate. Don't worry about it. You know, it's just everybody coming together under the same idea of what's right and what's wrong. That's another thing that needs to happen. If everybody felt the same way, that man would be broke right now. He has lawsuits upon lawsuits where he's actually paid out. Where people are actually now coming forth and say, man, that dude been prejudiced. That dude been a racist. Now we can call him a racist because he has control to dictate where you stay. He has control to dictate what you do. He has control to keep you in line, so to speak, because he is the one that you're seeking that job from. He is the one that you're seeking housing from. So as he said, I feed them. I put money in their pocket. I put food on their table. So he's admitting that he is the head. He has power. So when you have power and then you don't want them to come through the front door and you're trying to dictate where they are, that's being a racist. That's trying to keep them in their place. You're not on his level. We'll never be on his level. Oh, he was talking about Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. Those are some very wealthy, powerful black men that he doesn't want his girlfriend to be seen with. She wasn't seen with me. Because you know his old lady would have been getting ming, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm happily engaged. But I'm saying, he wasn't seen with no regular brother. He wasn't seen with no street brother. She wasn't seen with no dude from the hood. She was seen with Magic. Then he talked about MJ. So it is what it is. So understand, all my African American brothers, all my African American sisters, no matter what you do, no matter what your accomplishments are, if you look like this, in their eyes, you still a nigga.